Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Arachnid Soul, always intellectual, the voracious one, coming to you today with some social commentary on a very topical issue. I mean, it's a year ago, pretty much this weekend, that the Sandy Hook shooting happened in Connecticut, United States. We're joined by Fight Night's finest. Welcome to the show.
It's good, Arachnid. Glad, thank you for having me on.
No problem. So basically, after the shooting, there were a lot of people who wanted reform. Some people wanted game reform, and then there were other people, the NRA, some of its members, not some of its members, but more likely some of the people in upper management of that lobby were calling on video game reform and were suggesting what we've heard before, that video games in large part lead to these violent shootings, not only the individual shootings, but also the mass shootings. So, what's your feeling on that, Fight Night?
Well, I always think that it's not smart of anybody to come in there and expect that things should all change just due to one event. No matter how catastrophic the event is, it's never right to change things based off feelings for a certain moment. It's like just developing nationalism in your country because you're about to go to war. You should always have that feeling that things need to be changed. And the fact that you want to go ahead and start changing gun rules just because of a huge shooting that took place. What about when there's shootouts in black communities or different places around the world? You don't see reforms coming in, but because a school gets shot up, now all of a sudden things need to change. I think gun laws in any shape, way, or form need to be changed because everybody just comes to the agreement that it needs to be changed, not one event sparking out the entirety of a nation to need to change things.
Well, I think one of the problems is that, as horrible as these mass shootings are, they do seem somewhat distant, even though they might happen in your country. If they don't happen in your community, if they don't happen in your family, it's so easy to kind of say, well, that's horrible, and I feel horrible for the friends and family of the victims, but it's not something that happened on your front doorstep.
Right.
And I think what happened here was you had a situation, like you said, it was an affluent community, it was a quiet community, a Caucasian community, and for the most part, the victims were, school-age children, and that hit home with a lot of people because now you've got a lot of different facets that people can see themselves in, as opposed to maybe the shootings in the streets of Chicago that happen one at a time, that happen to minorities, and maybe there's more people in this country that either turn a blind eye to that or see it as, well, it's just them shooting each other. And it's sad, but maybe we're at a place where it's going to take, something like this happening and being in the spotlight of the media and happening in these kind of majority communities more often for some change to happen. But, I know when we talk about gun control and gun issues and gun reform, call it what you will, it's such a broad topic. It's so easy to get away from the focal point of the conversation. So I kind of want to bring this back around and just think about the video game aspect. What role do these violent shooting video games play in these individual shootings, in the mass shootings, if any? And we're talking about this in the background. You'll see some different video games that I've uploaded involving guns. So let me ask you this question. We have Grand Theft Auto 5 that came out earlier this year. We're recording this in 2013. You have games like Halo. You have games like Call of Duty Ghosts, which just came out. Killzone Shadowfall was recently released, as well as Battlefield 4. And when you look at the numbers that these games are doing, I know Grand Theft Auto 5 set all kinds of records. It seems like, if you want to believe there's a direct correlation, you'd have to think there'd be a lot more shootings. So I don't know if the stance of the NRA is necessarily that everyone who does this will go out and commit a mass shooting, because they'd be even more rampant. I think the stance is that in some cases it causes people to go out, if I can play devil's advocate, In some cases, it causes people to go out and commit these mass shootings. Do you think that these video games, on any degree, even in a small percent of people, cause these types of shooting incidents?
I think the only thing that these video games do is just help you to stand up in your chair and just scream out loud, because that's basically the only thing they're going to do. Video games don't impact anybody to go out there and commit heinous acts such as murder or shootings or possibly even assault on other people. It's important that, yeah, these video games come out, and you got to look at the time frame in which these games come out, which crime normally increases. This is around the holiday seasons, towards when people are going out shopping and looking to go ahead and get their kids these video games. So most of the time, these kids don't even have it until after Christmas or during Christmas break. So the most of the time these shootings take place, as I said earlier, is during the holiday season. But you can't so much blame violent video games such as Grand Theft Auto 5, because if that's the case, people would just be going around and just smacking people in the back of the head for no apparent reason. Like, I know there's the thing called the knockout game. I'm not sure if you heard of that. But
Yeah.
that sparked around violence just due to kids just wanted to act stupid, to go ahead and try something. It's that adrenaline flow that they're looking for. In no shape or form did they say that the knockout game come from Grand Theft Auto 5 or just going around and punching people in the back of the head. Because in all honesty, in Grand Theft Auto 5, you could target anybody and hit them. And this, you're just targeting vulnerable people. So you got to look at the aspects of where they're saying it derives from and how it could possibly connect, because I don't see how Battlefield 4, a military shooter, where it's important to be behind cover, or it's important to make sure you're not exposing yourself in the open, have a good gun set up, make sure all your classes are set up and everything, how that can transpire into somebody going out there and trying to commit murder. There's actually no proof, there's no direct correlation, as you said earlier, to where you can relate a Battlefield 4 shooter or a Call of Duty shooter. I don't see kids who like to quickscope going out there off the top of a building and 360 and down like a crackhead and trying to shoot somebody. You just don't see it. So I don't see any way in which a video game can have an effect on somebody going out there and committing murder. It's like you shooting a gun like an AK-47. That's a whole different vibration, a whole different amount of recoil, a different position in which you hold a gun. That cannot come from you pressing R1 on a PlayStation controller and you getting a little bit back of feedback from the controller vibrating. It's two different completely feelings, two different situations, and two different effects on the body and mind. So I don't see how video games can actually translate towards that.
Okay, well, let me give you the perfect scenario then of a young man, probably, maybe a young woman, I don't know, growing up, in an abusive home, being bullied at school, being teased, coming home, being bullied on the internet, on Facebook, on Twitter, never being able to escape this, and at the same time being able to go on their PlayStation or their Xbox or their Wii console or what have you, and playing these violent video games. Then you add in the factor that maybe there is some mental issue there. Maybe the parents aren't as supportive as they should be. Maybe the parents are actually abusive to the kid. And maybe this kid also has access to a gun because maybe the parents have a gun in the house. I mean, can you imagine that with this perfect combination of things, that this might lead this kid to go out and shoot someone?
See, this kid already is experiencing reality due to the fact that he's getting picked on every day. He's getting bullied. He may be getting kicked. He may be getting teased about the clothes that he wears, how he dresses, the people he hangs around. He's exposed to the reality of the world. He knows it's a harsh place. He knows that the people in his life could all possibly have no positivity on him as well. So you got to look at it as to say, can a video game really change a person's entire mindset to say, man, I wish that I had that same gun so I can go ahead and start shooting up people in my school. I don't think any person who gets teased or bullied or any shape or form, it will lead them to go ahead to those kind of standards from a video game aspect. People do things because they're tired of other people. And like I said, it's a whole different level of combat in a game like Call of Duty or Battlefield 4, where those are military shooters. Like, these are people, who are in a military division. Right. They're going out there to go slaughter people because that's the objective, take out the team. Now, that's all in a good sense just for fun and sport and maybe for bragging rights in the lobby. When you killed somebody, it's because you're literally taking them out of the world. And like I said, when you deal with such a harsh reality, especially when it comes to being teased or bullied, you know what things can bring about. Now, when you go, like I said earlier, about the feeling that you get when you're about to shoot a gun or, when you're getting teased, anger could lead you to doing a lot of stupid things. But anger doesn't drive you back to go ahead and think about the video games where people were shooting somebody. You don't have flashbacks when you're angry. You have maybe blackouts or, you feel very angry, you get tunnel vision, and the only thing you're concerned about is taking a person out. You're not using your brain in any shape, way, or form. So you're not reverting back to Grand Theft Auto 5 to go ahead and get the shooting done. The only thing you're reverting to is the fact that you want this person either dead or you want this person to be severely hurt because of the fact that they're bullying you. Your parents are teasing you. Your parents aren't there for you when you need help. Your parents, they don't provide you with the things that you want or desire. So it sparks no sustainability in the home. And in the mind, the only thing that you're concerned about is that I'm the only thing that keeps me safe. So I don't think video games can affect a person in that way either.
Right. Now, one thing that I would argue is that video games are a form of art, are a form of creative expression on the part of the development team. And almost the same way that when you look at movies, video games have ratings, and we have in this country done video game regulation where, ideally someone under the age of 18 cannot buy, or 17, whatever it is, cannot buy a game rated mature. Now, much like the gun lobby will tell you, there are regulations on gun sales too, but of course with video games and with guns, there are loopholes. I mean, if you're 9 years old and you have the funds, it's very easy for you to go out and buy Call of Duty Ghosts or Grand Theft Auto 5. And there are also loopholes in place for you to go out and buy guns if you want to. Basically, where I stand on this issue is I don't come down hard on video games. I don't think video games are causing this. I think guns might be the means for this. I don't know that guns are causing it, but at the end of the day, I don't like these shootings. And I would like to see these shootings, if not completely stopped, which, yes, is unrealistic, but certainly reduced. I'm in favor of trying to reform both and trying to close the loopholes on both and doing whatever's possible to try to minimize these shootings. And it really is unfortunate that when we talk about this stuff, people get so attached to certain political ideologies and they lose focus of what's really important, that, innocent people are dying. Now, maybe those innocent people you don't think of as being part of your quote-unquote tribe. They might not live in your area. They might not be in the same financial bracket that you're in. They might not have the same skin color. But the fact is, they are in the same tribe. They're all in the human tribe with you. You wouldn't want it happening to your loved ones. And you should take every one of these killings as if it did happen to one of your loved ones. So we're going to wrap it up. We're keeping this one short. I'd like to know what you guys think. Please leave your comments. Please be very respectful. I mean, I think we've been very good at kind of staying, somewhat respectful to both sides of the argument here. We haven't attacked each other or anyone else, and I would ask that you guys do the same thing in the comments. Well, once again, this is your boy, Arachnid Soul. I don't want to give too cheerful of a closing tonight. We're also here with Fight Night. We thank him for joining us, and we hope to do more commentaries like this again. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day. Thank you.